What's up, guys? I'm Kyle Milan. It's Tuesday. It's the first Tuesday of the month, right? Yep. First Tuesday of the month. So we're here live, and I got Christian with me.
What's up? What's up, Kyle? Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, you're kind of permanently locked in now
Oh,
because the
sweet.
viewers are like, we want to see somebody else besides Kyle. And Christian knows a few things about a lot of things, and he brings some fire to these live events. And Lara just likes editing his content better than mine. So today's going to be a little bit different because we're going to be doing a screen share. We're going to be teaching you guys some things directly out of HubSpot, which hopefully will provide you with some value. So if you're new to the content, head over to YouTube, subscribe to my page, subscribe to the company page. We've got over 2,000 videos out there talking about how to market, how to sell, tech stacks, reviews, tutorials, everything you need to know about digital marketing in 2025. We've got content out there about it, and especially stuff about trade shows, which I just got back from Pack Expo in Vegas last week. Was there for 6 nights, and that's a long time to be in Vegas, but we had a lot of fun, and we've got video proof and photo proof to show it, right, Laura? And so we come live once a month. Used to be more frequent, but we're busy and we're trying to increase the value of this content. So we come live once a month to talk about what's the latest in marketing, what's something that we haven't created content about. Specifically today, we're talking about HubSpot because Christian and I were at Inbound in San Francisco in the beginning of September.
September, yeah, a little over a month ago.
That's
crazy.
I feel like it was like last week.
Yeah, time flies by.
That is insane. So a month ago, we were at Inbound as a partner, and we spent, what was it, 4 days there?
Yeah.
Technically
Yeah,
5.
technically the whole week.
Yeah, so
No
we
travel.
flew out there on Labor Day and did the whole partner day, and then 2 days of Inbound, and we got firsthand look at all the different features, the changes, and being a partner, we got exclusive access to things prior to Inbound, and also we have exclusive access to things after Inbound, pre-releases, and some things we're waiting on getting approval and access to. There's a lot of things that changed at Inbound, and not just from the standpoint of they went from, what is it, the funnel to the loop, which is funny because during the partner what was it, like the pre-show?
Pre-show, yeah, the early access to whatever was going to be released at Inbound.
Yeah. And Christian's like, oh, let me guess, they're gonna call it a loop.
Yeah,
and it's just an infinite, and it's
took a while to guess because the logo was, very telling.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly, but that's nothing new, right? I mean, they've been talking about loop marketing. Google search it, loop marketing. People have been talking about that for, I feel like, decades.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's finally like HubSpot's like, okay, we're going to drop the whole inbound and funnel type view, and we're going to do a loop. And the loop basically means that you're just constantly marketing to people through the infinite stages, which there's 4 main stages. The cool thing about the loop is that if you look at the infinity symbol, that's basically their new loop symbol. The left side is like user action, and the right side is AI. Mm-hmm. So what they're trying to symbolize is that you start with the human aspect of it on the left hand side, and then you flow to AI, and then it comes back to human, and then back to AI, and it just basically like ping pong.
Right. So each cycle, AI helps you improve and tailor your message depending on who the audience is, what it learns from the audience, which is quite interesting. Yeah. That now we have the capabilities of AI to help us understand and refine at scale.
Yeah. And that's, I'd say that like the takeaways that Christian and I had from Inbound were, I mean, we got like deep into HubSpot, and then we're just like, all right, how do we make HubSpot do everything for us? Because we were so drinking the Kool-Aid after that. But the biggest takeaway was basically just the implementation of AI and stuff that they've been working on for 2 to 3 years, and some pretty impressive products that they came out with. But most importantly, I feel like the coolest stuff is still yet to be seen. And that's going to be rolling out as these initial glimpses into the full ecosystem that they have are revealed. There's going to be some pretty cool stuff, I'd say, over the next 1 to 2 years that comes out from them. And so we're here today to be like, hey, these are some things that we saw from Inbound that we've been using or playing with for the last 30 days. Also some things that, as HubSpot partners and as people that are using this every day for ourselves, for our clients that have HubSpot, areas that we get into and clients aren't using it, or they've never looked into it, or they had previous partners and they didn't have things set up to flow, from a awareness to a lead, and then engagement, deal pipeline, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to go through a couple things initially. So let me share the screen, and Christian's going to start off with share screen. We don't need audio. All right, Laura, how does that look? Laura says it looks great. All right, I'm going to pass the mouse over to Christian.
All right, so the conversation today is going to revolve around the big AI updates that HubSpot released. The first one we're going to talk about is their Breeze kind of like platform inside of HubSpot. So Breeze is the name that they assign to their AI assistants and AI agents. So you may be asking, what's the difference? What's an AI assistant? What's an AI agent? So if you go to the Breeze section, if you have a HubSpot license, you go to the left side and you scroll all the way down until you see the sparkle icon. If you click there and go to overview, there's a nice little explanation on what everything Breeze means. So essentially, the Breeze assistant works with you, alongside with you on the right side of the window, sometimes on the left side, or a pop-up. So it's basically like a chat interface where you can chat with your assistant. The cool thing is that you can create your own assistants. You can teach it, and it's going to read information in your HubSpot, which makes it super powerful, as opposed to just going out to like ChatGPT on a new window, and then you have to start from scratch with each conversation. Within HubSpot, using the Breeze assistant, you can do a lot of things that can help you with the information inside of HubSpot.
Yeah, and can we create Breeze assistants custom right now?
Right.
That's the first question that people are going to ask is, can I create my own assistant?
Yeah, right now you can create your custom assistant. If you go in here and you click on open Breeze assistant, you can see the window pop up on the right. You'll see essentially a few of the chats that you've had with the assistant. And then if you click on the drop down at the top, so you are on the like general Breeze assistant. There's a couple of assistants that are very specific that you can install. And then if you go to manage assistants, you can on the right, there's a create assistant.
And then click share this tab instead. There you go.
So in here, you'll have this button to create your own assistant, and then you can basically teach it, what you want it to do, how you want it to interact with your data. So very, very powerful to have kind of like a coworker next to you, going into HubSpot, looking at things, looking at trends, interactions with possible leads, prospects, even customers. The ones that HubSpot has as a default that you can install are very powerful.
Yeah,
they can help you understand how a client is doing, assign like a score depending on their engagement. But definitely you can create your own to help you accomplish your tasks in HubSpot.
Yeah, and so looking at this, like you've got a section right there where your mouse says add knowledge, right? So you could, and this is something that I'm going to be playing around with, is that we've created our own custom GPTs here that assist us with day-to-day functions that we have to do. And so I wonder if could we create our own with a custom assistant, give it knowledge of the way that we do things, so that way when employees go into our HubSpot, could they use that assistant to possibly assist?
Yeah.
Or are we going to have to create this assistant in clients' portals so that way when they're in the client side, have it assist there? I guess either or, but it's something that I definitely want to test out to see how smart can this thing be.
Right. I was thinking like onboarding a new employee, right? We have like different moving parts when we have a new hire and we want to get them up to speed.
Yeah.
Creating an assistant for them to follow along, help them with their onboarding.
Yeah.
The nice, beautiful thing is that when you click create, you have different things you can do as a source of knowledge for the assistant, right?
Okay.
You can use files, and then in the files you can do PDFs, text files, HTMLs, presentations like PowerPoints and docs, and also you can do CRM objects. So you can teach it with contacts, companies, deals, even knowledge articles. If you have on the HubSpot knowledge base, the actual portal that you set up, blog posts, landing pages, even the calls. So you can definitely teach the assistant with the information you have, which is, I think it's a great, powerful tool.
So it's like combining, it's like almost putting custom GPTs inside HubSpot. So you have essentially, I mean, in theory, you have the ability to teach it based on documents, which is how you create custom GPTs. But then you can also say, in my own HubSpot, teach it based on the way that we do things, landing page, calls, deals, etc., then in theory you should be able to create something that's pretty useful to people.
Yeah.
Perfect. So especially from a sales standpoint, we've got playbooks and all this stuff that you guys create in your HubSpot and you add to it to teach your team. If you can also create an assistant that does that sales onboarding assistant, you can have it create things pretty quickly if it's reviewing the details.
All right, so that's it for assistants. So remember, assistants, they pop up on the right side or sometimes on different sides of the screen, and then they can show you, they can help you accomplish your tasks within HubSpot. Now, the other part of the Breeze platform is the agents. So agents, they actually work behind the scenes. They go in the back end, they can edit, create, update properties, contacts, companies. They can do a whole lot of things. They can work within workflows to enhance information, to outreach to prospects, to update records, create lists. They can do different things. So again, another powerful aspect of this platform that works behind the scenes. So the assistants work right next to you on the window. The agents work behind the scene with the instructions you give it. So one of the most powerful agents that we've seen that HubSpot has created so far is the prospecting agent. So the prospecting agent, essentially, I would call it is like a sequences, but on steroids and with a brain.
Okay.
So it's a great combination of following up intelligently to a prospect, because it can read the interactions, the replies to emails. If there's any meetings, it can read the content of the transcript
Notes,
of that meeting,
transcription,
notes, calls, and then it adjusts the outreach, the messages. Now, if you're worried that it's going to say something that is not accurate, there's two ways you can set it up. You can just let it do its own thing and do the outreach for you, or you can put guardrails where you can review the message before it goes out. So definitely it has a lot of power, but also guardrails that you can put on so it doesn't do anything crazy.
Yeah, because you basically got two different versions. You've got the like fully autonomous, it's just going to do it within guardrails, or you can say, hey, I want to see the stuff before you send it, which I feel like most people initially are going to do until there's that level of trust built with the AI. And then you can say, hey, just roll by yourself, send emails, engage with people as you see fit. And then you essentially could set it somewhat on autopilot to where people are, you've got some outreach going and you've got some engagement on the contacts within your HubSpot. So it's like working for you 24/7.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and that's a key point, right? Why using a prospecting agent makes sense. So let's talk about trade shows, Kyle.
Yeah.
How much do you think a typical company spends like exhibiting at a trade show?
I would say any companies of decent size are north of 50,000 to, I mean, the sky's the limit, but I would say north of 50,000.
Right, for one event.
For one event.
And then let's say you generate, 200 leads, 300 leads from that event. Now you're expecting the team to follow up and get meetings, get deals created, get opportunities, right?
Yep.
What's the time you think it takes for a team to do that manual outreach after an event?
I mean, I'd say realistically, I know that you could do a single message in, let's say, 45 seconds. Or if you have a template, you can say, oh, it took me 12 seconds to do it. But through attrition and through people slowing down and getting distracted, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes per contact, because they're going to get distracted with other things.
Mm-hmm. So eventually it could take weeks, right?
Yeah.
For them to go through the whole list. And we've because we look at the data of our clients, other companies, that same outreach to the whole list with the same message doesn't really work that great anymore, at least.
Yeah.
So the prospecting agent can help because you're investing a much less time and less money into the outreach, and the agent will do the research for you. We'll look at the notes that you took at the trade show.
Yep.
We'll look at that company's website, any information that they have in there, and craft a message that makes sense, and it will do it all at scale behind the scenes.
Yeah, so it's essentially cutting out all that time it takes for you guys to think, as long as you train it properly, right?
Right.
And that's the key, is that none of these agents are amazing. None of them are going to work well if you don't put in the time to train it. If you think you're just going to click a button, it's just going to be able to read through your HubSpot and just know everything about you, you'll be extremely disappointed in the results.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad, but you're not going to be blown away at what it can do.
Yeah. Now, the good thing is you don't have to be an engineer to set these up. And also, you can use services like what we do. We help set
Yep.
these agents for our clients as well. So if you want to get started and just look around, see what it does, you could click on the prospecting agent here. It's going to ask you to add it on the button. And then the first thing you have to do when you're setting up your agent is that you have to tell it, what the selling profile is. You have to set up a selling profile. So it's going to look a bit different the first time you do it. We have already one set up here, but
Yeah, as an example.
just to show you an example, it's going to ask you for the name, the description. This really doesn't do much. The identity here, it's where the emails are going to come from. You can select different what one of the inboxes that you have in your account. Now, here's the fun and interesting part. When you go to sources and training, uh, you can put in your website URL and then click on Analyze Website. It's going to generate all of these answers to the
Yep.
questions. What does your company sell? What is your value prop? And then you can also add in it, you can type in more information if needed. If you have products and services in your HubSpot, you can go ahead and select those as well. So that way it's going to tailor the messaging, the outreach to whatever information you have in your HubSpot. It's going to pull the industries from your website, and you can also add additional ones if it missed a couple. So you're kind of like teaching it what you do, what you sell, and then it's going to base the outreach, the information that it provides to the prospects based on this. Now, the call to action is what you wanted to use at the end of a message to try to get people to react, right? You can do a HubSpot meeting link, which is essentially a link that you set up in HubSpot connected to your calendar so people can set up a meeting at a time that it's open in your calendar. You can also attach documents, and you can also attach a URL as a call to action. So if you want them to go to your websites. And then here in the guardrail section is where you would select that mode if you want to review the content before it's being sent out, or if you want to just send it automatically. And finally, the guidance, the time that you wanted to execute, the days, and in the advanced section, you can also do more instructions. You can set up more instructions based on what you want it to do.
Yeah, and I think that's that section. Oh, yeah, right here.
Yep. Let's hide it.
Let's hide it.
Thanks a lot.
So what's cool is this custom instructions area, and so you just toggle it on, enable custom instructions, and this is where you can get into really teaching it the tone of voice. And you can like, this is just like the general stuff that they put in there, but the stuff that we played around with is you can start to teach it more about the way that you typically want to interact, how you want your conversation structure, your sentences, the length of it. Like you can go in and customize it, and then let it run on, let's say, just grab a couple contacts, let it run and see what comes back, and how does it craft those emails to somewhat perfect it before you just say, hey, start generating emails for me. So you can teach it as much as possible ahead of time, just like with the assistant you can teach. And so it's basically just whatever AI program they're using in the background. I'm assuming it's open AI. You can customize it to make it more efficient and more effective.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's OpenAI because Darnesh posted that OpenAI had a conference, and they mentioned their partnership with HubSpot.
Yeah, and he's a big investor.
Yeah,
he's a big investor with OpenAI, so that makes sense.
So yeah, very powerful tool. Now, if you're thinking like, okay, if I set this up and I turn it on, is it going to start just doing its own thing? So no, as we mentioned before, this is like Sequence on steroids, but with brains. So you can enroll people based on a list, enroll them individually, enroll them through a workflow in the agent. So essentially, this acts like a sequence where you can enroll individual people or lists, and you can also do it automatically based on your workflow. So definitely play around with it. If you have questions, if you need help setting it up, reach out to us. We're more than happy to put some time together and help you build those.
Yeah, and I feel like this is gonna be one video of an entire series of videos where we're reviewing HubSpot details and releases. Like, I think that the prospecting agent could be its own standalone 25-minute video where we show you how to set it up, how to run it, how we've ran it, what it creates, how it interacts, and then even some results from like, oh, here's some examples on a client side where it generated 800,000 in revenue or something like that. So be sure to subscribe to the Milan Media YouTube channel as well as my own, because those videos are going to be coming out, and we won't always just be doing them live. Laura's team will be posting those directly to the site, so you better make sure to subscribe to those YouTube channels and turn on notifications.
All right. So now we're going to move on to Marketing Studio. So I'm going to hand over the mighty mouse to Kyle.
Yeah, so Marketing Studio, that's just on the left-hand side. Let's see if she's going to work fast. All right, so just on the left-hand side, if you go under the bullhorn, which is marketing, you're going to want to go into Marketing Studio. And what this basically does, it sums it up right here, is that you can create a whole bunch of assets of a campaign with a little bit of input into the AI system. And it's just going to create it for you. Now, your campaigns that used to be located under marketing and now here under manage. So all of your campaign stuff is here. But if I want to start an intro, there's a couple things like, hey, we create a sample lead generation campaign. I'm not going to use that one. But down here, you've got generate new leads, product or service launch, or an in-person event promotion. And so if I go into, let's do an in-person event or promotion. A lot of people doing trade shows. Cristian mentioned it, so let's go with that. And so what you're going to do is we're going to name it. And it's going to be called in-person event test. And it starts with just some high-level information. So create a marketing campaign that will run for X amount of weeks. So let's say this is going to run for not 3 to 4, but we're going to say a 8-week period with the primary goal of what? We're going to promote an in-person event. Let's see if this is. No, let's not. Uh-oh. Now she wants to glitch. Let's see if refreshing is going to do it. There we go. So we're going to say over a 8-week period. And we're going to say in-person event. And it's going to be called in-person event that is a trade show called, since I was just added, we're going to say Pack Expo Vegas 2025. And so this would be something like, hey, we're going to go to this event. It's in the future. We want to set this up weeks and weeks and weeks at a time, a couple months at a time. We're going to this event. What do we need to do? The campaign should target who? Like, who is the audience? It's basically what it wants to know. And so this thing's being... Okay, the target audience is going to be, we're going to say packaging engineers and food and bev supply chain managers. So Pack Expo, for those of you that aren't aware of it, it's basically one of the largest packaging trade shows in the country. It happens every year. It's flip-flops. The international one flip-flops between Vegas and Chicago in odd and even years. And so people come, everything that you eat is basically done at this show by the company. So whether it's the companies that, one example we saw is a machine taking applesauce and then dispensing the applesauce into, let's say, a container, and that container is then heat sealed or packaged, and then from there it goes into a conveyor belt, which then puts them in the boxes and tapes and labels the boxes and all that stuff. So basically fully automated assembly lines is essentially what it's all about in relation to packaging everything, but a heavy focus on like the food industry. And so including additional details that are optional. So we're going to say we don't want RSVP forms. We want something with booth meeting sign up forms to book time to talk to a sales rep. Then it's going to say marketing emails to announce and remind attendees, engaging social media content with behind the scenes and countdowns. We're not going to do any paid social ads, so we're going to remove that. And then let's say the blog post highlighting the event details and booth giveaways. And then clear CTA that's drive signups and follow. So we don't want to call to action is going to drive signups. The call to action is going to be to drive meetings in the booth and follow-up content post-event to keep the momentum going. So we're just going to say that's good, and we're going to generate campaign. And this is what's cool is you're able to watch this thing start going. So it's going to start going through it. Let's zoom in a little bit. And it's looking at the campaign details. And so first it hasn't created a brief, but it's got the campaign building. And it's going to start creating the brief. And then from the brief, now it goes over here and the agent's creating the content. So we're looking for social posts. We're looking for a landing page. We're looking for forms. We're looking for a blog article. And you're basically giving it all this information saying like, here's essentially the event. I want you to create this. Now, from a time standpoint, typically it'd be like, okay, we got to create a form. Go to forms, duplicate an existing form, change out the fields, make that adjustment, change the look and feel of it. Okay, now we got to do a landing page. What do we do? Go to an existing landing page, clone it, etc. But because we're logged into our system, it's already creating the stuff for us. So landing page, is it perfect? No, but it gives a good take. So you click on it, you can change the asset name in the description, and you can even say when is this thing going to be due by. And if I click on it, it'll show you, hey, ready for PAC Expo Vegas, just some quick text, book your booth meeting, random picture, sign maybe employee stretch too thin. So it's talking about marketing, put some placeholders, text, call to action, etc. Right. So like, is it amazing? No, but with some guidance and some massaging, it could be pretty good. And from here, we could say like, hey, save and open an editor. If I do that, it's going to save that landing page, and then I can open it in the landing page editor. So it makes it super efficient and fast. Let's see what other assets it's created. So it's got a sign up form, book a meeting at PAC Expo, first name, last name, email, phone number. It's got this. So there's going to be additional fields. As I click through it, this will go to 100%. Not bad, right?
Yeah, not bad.
And then after that, we're going to look at a blog post. So it's going to write a blog post, join us at PAC Expo, or no, marketing email. Sorry. This is a marketing email, join us at PAC Expo, throws in some placeholder images, some placeholder text of some giveaways that we're doing, reserve your spot. I feel like the branding's off because we don't use anything purple. Don't know why it went there. And then you've got another marketing email that it created, basically the same thing. And then you've got, what is this? Blog posts. So you've even got a blog post that I wrote. Super lengthy? No. I mean, it's not bad, but it's just generating the rough ideas for you. So the more that you use this and play with it, the more you put in the campaign details, the more that you upload images and campaign documents and brand stuff, the more that you set this thing up, it can be pretty effective to just create assets for you. And if you say, hey, I want to go back in here and say, I also want, let's see, engage in social. No. So create no social, but I'm going to say, let's see if it'll update it. Create 5 social media posts. And I don't know if this thing updates real time. And why is this scroll not scrolling? There we go. Save. So save and update unpublished assets. So you can do that. Hey, you didn't hit the mark on the get-go, but here's some refinement adjustments. And now I want you to recreate it. So I could say, hey, for the marketing email, I just need 1. I don't need 2. Number 2, you've got purple in there. Stick to our brand guidelines. Reference a brand document that we uploaded. So it just goes in and creates all these things for you as a starting point. Eventually, could this create it pretty accurately? I feel like if you put the time in.
Yeah, right? I think it'll get there eventually. You know, as it learns, as you keep using it, it's going to learn more of what you're looking for as a final product.
Yeah,
and it's going to get better with time for sure.
So what are your thoughts on this from a high level, Christian?
I mean, I love it. You know how many times we've started creating campaigns and then we plan, but then towards the end we find out that we're missing some assets, like, oh, we to create a specific form for that, or the landing page is missing this or that. It's a great starting point to like plan and then easily create these assets as a starting point, and then you can refine it. I think this is going to be huge for marketing teams, especially in the manufacturing world. We notice that there's a lot of teams of one in the marketing department. Sometimes it's people that are engineers that are not even a marketing person.
Right.
They somehow inherited the job, right? And now it's their baby to take care of.
Yep.
Someone as a one-man team, one-person team will definitely use this tremendously to save a lot of time.
Yeah, and so this one, it didn't create any social posts, but if I go back to a dummy one that I created, which was this hug example, which is a HubSpot user group, it did create a LinkedIn post. So I go in here, it created a post on LinkedIn, behind the scenes, countdown is on the way, gathering up for unveil HubSpot features straight from inbound. So like it's creating posts for me on social, and then from there I can just take these assets. So this was for a user group RSVPing to the event. Again, you can see the style similar with the landing page. It used a similar type of style from the one that it created. But really, the purpose of Marketing Studio, and they even said this during HubSpot Inbound, is like the goal is not for AI to just do it all for you. It's to get things out there for you to then work with AI and create the finished product. So can this be something where it's like, hey, I'm struggling on what we need to create? Yes. Could you be like, I need to create lots of different campaigns for lots of events or lots of different things that you've got going on? Yeah. I think to make this super efficient and effective and something that you can take home with you is the campaign details. You need to create some sort of structure. So what I would say is create a Google Doc and say every campaign we're going to have these types of things, and just lay it out to where you can say, hey, I need social posts, 1 marketing email, or 3 a landing page. This is the type of form we use. This is the type of brand. This is the type of tone. This is the type of cadence, character count, whatever it is, and just have that in a Google Doc or a note, and then you could paste that into this section for campaign details, and then just swap out with the different types of events. So you have a starting point once you get it to where you want it to be. So for this, I would probably spend, I don't know, maybe an hour or so changing out the campaign details with additional text and context clues, and then have it recreate it for me to get it to where, how do I get it to where it's like 70% of the way done? Then after that, I would take that campaign details that I provided it and create that as like, this is essentially like my prompt. Just like you have prompts for GPTs, this is essentially my prompt. Are you able to control that?
Yeah.
Dang. So this is where my prompting comes in, where you can be like, hey, this is what I'm going to do every single time with campaigns. So it's pretty cool stuff. I think that overall, even getting into the analyzing the performance and stuff like that, ROI, spend versus budget, everything's built in. I think it's a pretty powerful tool.
Yep. Very awesome. I'd love to see how this is going to keep evolving as it learns and it gets better for sure.
Yep.
All right. Now, the third big AI update that we're going to go through that was released in Inbound last month is the Data Studio. So the Data Studio, before it was used to know as the Data Hub
or Ops
Operation Hubs.
Operations Hub.
Now it's called the Data Hub. So all the tools here that you see is part of the Data Hub, and specifically we're going to talk about the Data Studio. So Data Studio is the big update because it allows you to connect different data from different platforms into HubSpot that you can use in reports, in workflows, automations. You can create lists. You can enhance a contact property, for example, with additional data from other platforms. You can even import a CSV, a Google Sheet, and have that as a data set. Very, very powerful, because before you would have to either create a crazy integration or use Zapier or Make.com to connect things. Then you have to monitor that and you have to maintain it. Right now, HubSpot here just released a powerful, I would say like a key to be able to connect different data sources, which is incredible. So what do we mean by that? So if you have access to the Data Studio part here of the platform, you can go into the data sets and create a data set. And here you'll see when you click on external data sources, this lists the ones that you've created.
Yep.
And when you click on add new external source, you can see the list of other apps that you can connect. So you can see here Google Sheets, Shopify. You have different other platforms like QuickBooks, Stripe. So if right now you're using siloed systems where you're doing one thing in one system and then another in another system, now you can put that data together, and HubSpot lets you do it very, very seamlessly.
Yeah, and what was it they said there? How many connections they have? It was like a couple hundred, right?
Yeah, it was a couple hundred that they have right here, and the list keeps growing because I keep seeing here new names, new platforms. And I think one of the most powerful things, right? Google Sheets is amazing. You can bring a lot of stuff into Google Sheets. A lot of people was talking about Snowflake. So Snowflake, if you know what it is, it's definitely a huge thing because it's basically a database in the cloud that you can connect other databases So amazing and powerful that now we have access to do this. It can even connect to things like um, other platforms that we don't love much as Marketo. You
Oh
can
yeah,
bring
yeah.
information in from Marketo, constant content, constant contact, MailChimp, and so forth. So definitely a powerful tool that's going to help you just bring all of the data into one platform. So one quick example, let's say that you invoice through QuickBooks and you have invoices that are due, and then you have the information for the client in HubSpot, but it's not talking to each other, right? So now you can bring in QuickBooks invoice information, tie it in with the contact or the company, and then create lists, create emails to outreach and try to get that invoice to get paid, to be paid in an earlier fashion. So just one idea of the things you could do with the Data Studio.
Yeah, so it's really no different than before with Ops Pro. Like the whole reason why you needed Ops Hub Pro up until Inbound was if I want to connect to different systems, I need Operations Hub. So there's two main benefits that you got from it. You got to clean up your records, right? You've got automatic deduping and merging of things you could do at scale with Ops Pro. And then you're like, hey, I want to connect to another party, another system, a third party, something else you're using. You got to have Ops Pro to do that. So now it's taken those two cores, but it's like added a little bit of steroids to it to where now it's like we can easily connect to different systems. And once you connect to those systems, you're basically building out an Excel spreadsheet table. And then with that table, you're able to map where that information goes into HubSpot, and it can auto update and populate. I know what people are thinking is like, with all this AI stuff, how much does it cost?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so I think right now it's free,
So free to connect,
use,
yeah,
free to
free to
connect.
connect.
Yeah.
If there's any information that needs to be enhanced, for example, or added, it has a cost. I think it's a 10 credits per run,
Yeah. Per run.
to update or bring new information in. But yeah, essentially, Data Studio is, it's amazing. Another amazing aspect of the Data Studio is that you can create different properties, smart properties,
Yeah.
based on the content that already exists. So, for example, you know that if you have a text field property or field, the data is not structured, right? So you don't really know what to pull out from there if you unless you do like a massive connection to another system and
Yeah.
try to get it to something like a drop down, right? Let's say, and you had a golf little um, event or a golf thing where people would just come in and use and putt for a price,
Okay.
and then you typed in golf in the notes, right? Golf, capital GOLF, or then, oh, this person participated in the golf initiative. All of that is just text,
Yeah.
unstructured. But with the new smart properties, you can go in and tell it, hey, generate a drop down of all the things that we did at the booth for the show for all of these contacts and give me options based on that. So now it
Okay.
just does it for you in a couple of seconds, which is amazing.
Yeah. So I haven't played with that at all. But if you create a new property, whether it's a lead, deal, contact, company, you'll see the name, then you'll see the field type, and then below it, you'll see smart property and it has a beta symbol next to it. So that's what Christian's talking about, is that if you wanted to create a smart property from that, you might have come across it in the current property settings.
So yeah, those are the three main things that we wanted to talk about.
Yep.
Again, the Breeze agents and Breeze assistants to make your life easier and do powerful things in the background while you are doing the most important things. Also, the marketing studio that Kyle highlighted, how to create complete campaigns as a starting point using HubSpot's AI, and also the data studio that we just talked about, how to bring in data from all these platforms into HubSpot so you can take action and create automation based on that.
Yeah, and as we continue to build out this series, we'll get into the commerce side, the service side. There's been some insane improvements from what I've seen in that area, and I don't mess with those areas very often, but I'm getting more involved in it. But we'll create more content around it. But I think the key is to look at it as whatever level you're at with HubSpot, whether you're a starter level or you've got fully built out enterprise systems at $4,000 to $5,000 a month. There's stuff in here that you really need to consider looking at. Even if you're a starter or you have a simple program, with these new additions, it may make more sense for you now to look at a different hub that you're not using, that maybe before you're like, I don't want to deal with that. So from a pricing standpoint, understand the way that it works is for the marketing hub where you've got social and marketing emails and all that stuff and workflows, that's got a sticker price and 3 core users with it. So I think the sticker price is like $860 sticker, again, sticker. But working through a partner like us, we can usually get more competitive pricing. But that's based on, to unlock it, you're talking what most people say is like, that's a lot of money. On the sales side, Sales Hub Pro, Sales Hub Enterprise, which gives you a lot of access and a lot of functionality, that's per seat. So you're talking $100 or $150 per seat sticker price. So you can get a lot of movement there. On the commerce side too, $95 a seat. On the service side as well, I think it's $100 a seat. Now, so the main ones that cost more dollar amount where you can't say per seat would be the Content Hub. I think it's $500. Marketing Hub, I think, is around $860 or $890. This is if you're paying monthly. And then the Data Hub is around, it was $800 or $600?
Yeah, $800 for data.
So $800 for the Data Hub Pro, which gives you pretty much access to everything. You wouldn't typically need to go into enterprise unless you're dealing with a lot of heavy movement. So you may be like, hey man, I've been using Marketing Hub Pro and I wanted to upgrade and I wanted to get my data more clean or be able to use mapping of information. Maybe Data Hub Pro is a fit for you at $800 sticker price. Or maybe now you want to get into the marketing side more and upgrade into Marketing Hub Pro from starter, or add in Sales Hub Enterprise and use a prospecting agent to then take action with sequences. Like there's so many things that you can do to where I feel like right now a lot of people are looking at hearing the things that people are talking about with HubSpot and then being like, oh man, I got to look at that. And then you go into it, and Christian and I did this. We were at Inbound, and they're like, now you've got this. And we're like, let's go. And then we go in there like, oh, shoot, we need to upgrade.
Yeah.
Or we don't have that hub. And we've got most of the hubs. And it's like, oh, man, they got us on that. Mm-hmm. But you got to look at it from an open mind. Just be like, hey, any money that you spend in the CRM, if you use it, is ROI positive almost immediately if you use it. If you don't know how to use it or you don't have a partner to use it, reach out to us at milanmedia.com. Let's take a short break, Laura, and we'll come back, see if there's anybody live watching this, any questions, and then we will see you in a minute. All right, guys, we're back. Laura says there's a couple comments, questions. Let's jump into it.
So we've got from Mark Landers.
Mark Landers, what's up, Mark? You out there just making sales, man? Killing cybersecurity or what? Mark is an OG sales guy. That guy, when I stumbled across Mark when we worked together a couple years ago on a client project, that guy will make phone calls and pound pavement until his fingers bleed. He is probably the hardest, most aggressive dog on the back of a meat truck salesperson I've ever met. Like, he could teach people it.
Nice to have you, Mark.
Let's see what Mark's got to say.
Oh, he says, I'm a one-man sales team for an industrial wellness company, and I'm glad I spent this lunch hour watching this briefing. Thanks, M2.
Absolutely, Mark. You know we got your back.
Mm-hmm. And then Sai has just joined, but she wants to know if you guys already talked about Social Agent.
So we didn't talk about Social Agent on this one. That'll be on a different, like a mini video that we'll be rolling out. Be sure to go backside to go to the YouTube channel where you'll see the full replay of the video. I know you're busy out there crushing it as well. The Social Agent, creating social posts, we still got to dive into it to see how well it can craft things that are actually useful. My initial take on it, it wasn't giving me what I wanted. But understanding your situation and the role you're in, if you can have an agent that can create those social posts for you, it would be beneficial. So definitely with the marketing studio, you can add that as an aspect of it. But straight up social agent, there's going to be some education that has to happen with teaching it to do it the way that we want it to be done.
Yep.
Right.
And if you're in the Austin area, we want to take this moment to invite you on November 13th. We're going to have a Launch and Learn event. So a live event where Kyle and I will talk about 2026 marketing strategies, and more specifically, how you can use HubSpot as your tool, as your main tool to create the marketing plan, execute the marketing plan, and also report on it and use Advantage on the AI advantage of everything that we talked today.
That's powerful. How long are we going to do that for? How long is that event?
Well, the Launch and Learn is about 2 hours and a half or 2 hours. So lunch is free. If you're in the area, it's going to be at the First United Bank in Austin. So we're going to put in a QR code on the screen that you can
it's up
scan.
here.
Yeah. Kyle is pointing
That's
to the right.
Yeah.
Oh, more to the right, over here.
So scan the QR code so you can save your spot. Spots are limited. It's filling up quickly, and we're going to go in depth, and we're going to talk to you, business owners, one team or one person marketer teams and sales teams. We want to see what you got so far for your strategy next year and see how we can help you maybe refine that strategy a little bit more, and definitely use HubSpot as a tool in your bag to achieve success.
Yeah, and we're literally taking it to the bank.
We
literally.
are.
We're going to the bank.
That's right. So November 13, that's on a Thursday at 12 p.m., First United Bank. Scan the QR code for more information.
And Laura, are we going to be filming that and giving some? Yeah, so we're going to be filming that and documenting it for those of you that can't come down to Austin. I mean, who doesn't want to be in Austin in November on a Thursday when it's going to be probably, I don't know, 85 degrees and sunny? That's pretty much what it's been every 85 to 95 for the last 2 months with no rain. I mean, that's great.
Yep, it's great. So hope to see you there.
All right, guys, we're going to let you get back onto your day. If you're watching this on replay, be sure to leave a comment. If you have a question, give us a like, share it with somebody that you know. Head over to YouTube and subscribe to the Milan Media channel as well as my channel. We keep producing content because you guys keep saying that you want it. We'll be back in 4 weeks with Cristian to talk about some more marketing stuff. We will see you on the next one.
Bye.